Fundraising. If you look at the party committees, the congressional House committees, the Senate committees, the individual candidates, and as best we can tell, the super PACs, Democrats are doing fine in fundraising. And in some cases, they're outraising Republicans, but not at the DNC and the RNC. Reported yesterday by the New York Times first that the DNC had to take out a loan, leaving them extremely cash poor compared to the RNC. We've talked about the chair over there before. His defense is they borrowed money because they wanted to spend more to win the two governors' races in Virginia and New Jersey, and they did. Dan, is this a big deal, small deal?
It's a huge deal because if the other committees were struggling, you could say, look, we're all the party is struggling to raise money, so it's not a DNC problem. His problem is Ken Martin's is everyone else is raising money. Everyone else is outraising their Republican competition, but you're getting beat 7 and 8 to 1. It's still the case that donors here, here being New York City, where I am, a major market for fundraising for both parties, don't necessarily want to meet with him. So I think, in past when chairs have struggled, they get kind of layered, meaning you get like Ed Rendell becomes the vice chair and he's going to become the point of fundraising. I wonder now if somebody is added over there. Like if I'm Gavin Newsom in the 28ers, I'm like, we need some help over here. Chuck Schumer, others. Somebody needs to help them out.
I think just for factual clarification, I think Rendell was made like national chair.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
You predicted before Sean weighs in, you predicted you thought it was possible somebody would challenge him. So now you're saying he'll stay, but be layered is more likely?
I know at least one person who would not challenge him, but if that person were asked, they would serve. So I think he's got to go. But I think there are people out there, including former people involved, that would take it.
Sean,
so Terry McAuliffe's looking for work.
No names.
So here's the thing that's interesting. I think the election. So one, I think what Dan said is absolutely right. The problem is the disparity. Everybody else is able to do it, but you can't, and that's a problem. It just shows that it's you, not the environment. Number two, I think Martin bought himself some time and goodwill by the wins in November. He gets credit for things that he doesn't deserve, but at the end of the day, that's the game of politics. We've always said this: you get more credit for things that happen on your tenure that you probably didn't do anything for, and you get more blame. In the case of this, but the other thing is, and I don't know the DNC rules like I know the RNC rules, but this idea, like he would have to allow something to happen, right? So he'd have to, I think if he were smart, he would convene folks, get the 2028ers in a room and say, guys, here's the deal. Like any of you, all of you, some of you may run. I need your collective help at a series of 6 events around the country where small, off the, whatever. But he needs a plan where he gets buy-in by all these guys. But until then, again, this gets back to understanding the rules of the game. And the rules of the game, at least as far as I know, are that Ken Martin is chairman until his term is up.
And by the way, that's exactly what Terry McAuliffe did at the end of 2022 or end of 2002. He called in all the candidates who were thinking of running and said, I need you guys to commit to do 7 events for me. LA, New York, Boston, San Fran, Chicago, Miami, all the big cities. And the idea was the small people jumped at it because they could get in a room with major donors who otherwise would not have taken their calls. The big people at the time, John Kerry, Dick Gephardt, John Edwards, then said, okay, we'll participate too, because they didn't want these other people just sitting around in a room with these folks. And that's exactly what Terry did. Yeah. It'd be smart.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two-Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.